Shalom, Apostle Hawk, coming at you with this truth, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem, Al Shai Bashem, Rakah Kodash. And I'm going to entitle this video, The End of All Flesh Is Come Before Me, and Other Topics. And this is from Genesis 6, verse 13. But before I go into that, I want to say a few words on the situation with the particular IUIC camp that got shot at. Me, myself, I didn't say good for them niggas. I said, damn, it's very serious, man. Now, I hope they don't go back to that same spot. You know what it says in Matthew chapter 10, starting from the 5th verse on down. As you read down, it says, of course, it's for Israel, not to the Gentiles, Samaritans. And anyone that doesn't accept your peace, then take your peace back. And that goes for them churches. If they go to a church and the church, people of the church don't accept them, then you never go back to that church. You don't go to the church week after week after week. Because the Most High is sealing the elect. When you go to Revelation chapter 7, the Most High is sealing the elect, and the elect were already chosen before the foundation of the earth. Read the book of Ephesians, read that whole book. But anyway, this is from Genesis 6, verse 13. Now it says here, and God, or the powers, said unto Noah, let me click on that just to see what it says. Okay, it says Alahayim, which is the powers. It says, and the Alahayim said unto Noah, which means comfort or comforter, Nawak, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. And ultimately, we know that it's by a flood. And he destroyed everyone on the earth except for 8 souls, which was Noah, his wives, his sons, and their wives. And you know the whole story about the 7 clean animals of every sort and 2 of every unclean animal. So let's pull out some words, because this is what I was looking at to lead me to, I'll go to that in a minute. But anyway, going back to the brothers from the IUIC, I hope everything's well, and I hope you don't go back. And when you go set up, put up a prayer, put in the word, put in the name Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai. Don't listen to the leaders of the IUIC, when they push that Most High in Christ blessed, because you ain't gonna get blessed by Christ. Christ is the enemy. You got to call on the true name. And there's scriptures on how the angels, will watch over you. That's one scripture comes to mind is Psalms 91. I'll read that whole chapter, or that whole Psalms, or that whole Psalm. It says, and the power said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. So we're gonna pull out this word, violence, because the spirit on the minds of these people now are that same spirit of the people down in during Moses' time. As a matter, that's that same generation that that ultra wicked generation. When Yahushua came on the scene, that this was the same generation that's here now. These ultra wicked people. Now I wanted to open up another blue letter. Do this. I believe that's Luke 17, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost positive. Okay, it's starting from the 22nd verse. Let me click on red letter edition. Okay, so these are the words of our Lord. So it says, Luke 17, verse 22, second coming foretold, which is talking about this time. And you know what I may do? I may go to the commentary just to see what they say. So it says, 22nd verse, and he said unto the disciples, the days will come when ye shall desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and ye shall not see it. And they shall say, and they shall say to you, see here or see there, go not after them, nor follow them. Now what comes to mind is Matthew 24. Let me go to that real quick. Open up another tab here. Blue letter. Fourth verse, and Yahushua answered, said, take heed that no man deceive you. A lot of people are being deceived, even amongst these Israelite groups. There's certain Israelite groups that's leading the people astray, but they're set up as stumbling blocks anyway. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and shall deceive many. Let me try this. '21st verse, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And that great tribulation is also the time of Jacob's trouble, which is going to be the time of Esau's trouble. When Jacob's trouble comes, Esau's trouble is going to come. Tribulation. Let me see what it says in the Greek. A pressing together, pressure, metaphorically, oppression, affliction, tribulation, distress, straits, hard times. So we're in the beginning of the tribulation. 21st verse again, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be, except those days be shortened. There should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, the elect, so the Most High is only dealing with the elect. When we go out there on the highways and the byways, and we push this word out, that's for the gathering of the elect. And so when we say certain things and we're going through the scriptures, the elect, it will be an ignite in their brain. It's like a light switch going on. It goes into the parable of Matthew 25, the 10 virgins, 5 were wise and 5 were foolish, right? So when it said to trim their lamps, that's the initiation, because people are going to hear it and they're not going to get it. But there's people that's going to hear it, which are the elect, and they're going to get it. So many are called, and few are chosen means you got a lot of people that's going to wake up to this, but a lot of them are going to fall off by the wayside. That's Matthew 13, chapter 13. And except those days shall be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, because the Most High is only dealing with the elect sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, this is talking about now, lo, here is the Messiah, or there, believe it not. Because you're going to have a lot of leaders, different people coming out saying that the Lord is with us, and we got the Lord. He's down here in the desert, or he's over here. And people are, well, what happened with the Gawk? There's something that the Sakari calls the GOCC, the Gawk. You had this guy, the elder leader, Rakar Shiar, or whatever his name is. He had, this goes back, I don't know, 10 years or more. Was this 09, 2010, 2011, where he was pushing this doctrine called the flee doctrine, that you got to get out of Babylon and go back to Israel or go to Egypt. And he had a lot of those people follow him, and a lot of them were women as well. They followed him and they went out there, but he wasn't there to greet them. And they just got stranded out there. So guess what? They found their way back to the States. And now they're disenchanted concerning, anything that has to do with Israel, because of this one demon. And he's a straight up demon. The Most High is not dealing with him at all. I was watching one clip of him recently where he said, now we all teach that the Moabites and the Ammonites are the so-called Chinese and Japanese. He doesn't teach that. I believe he said Palestinians and Jordanians or something like that. I could be wrong. He can come and correct me. And on this 12 tribe sign, one of the tribes is the people of the Polynesian Islands or the Samoans or whatever. So he's way the hell off. Another thing, or even Assad, brother Assad, Captain Assad, whatever his title is, he said, even though it's different, former one Westers got differences, when we come together, we pretty much on the same page. But then they mentioned GOCC and they said they way off, which they are. They're I don't even speak on them. They're like out off the radar. He teaches that there's mermaids, and nobody have ever seen a mermaid. Nobody has ever seen a mermaid. There ain't no motherfucking mermaids out there. Mermaids. Are you kidding me? And he teaches that he gets into all those books, the book of Yasha, the Jubilee. The main book is the scriptures, which the original King James, the Apocrypha, is part of the scriptures. And I have a couple of Bibles with the Apocrypha written in it, written in Old English. Excuse me. So it says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, Moses is only dealing with the elect. Many are called and few are chosen. That word chosen goes to the word eclectics, which means elect, which means like you have 10 pair of shoes, but you got your favorite pair of shoes. Well, that shoe that you like the best. You elected for that to be your favorite shoes. For the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is the Messiah, or there, believe it not. So they shouldn't, if they knew the scriptures, they would not believe that flea doctrine. Because there's many scriptures that speak about the deliverance coming out of this place right here. This is why this truth came from America. This is the place. This is Babylon. What was I going to say? Will come back to me. As if there shall arise false messiahs and false prophets. Oh, the so-called God sent comforter. Now he's dead. He ain't got nothing to say now. Most High took him out. He heard enough from him. His mouth was stopped according to the scriptures, because he went overboard. He said he was the comforter, and then when he came back, he said he went to Israel. The Spirit came to him, and he went back to New York to the school that they have now, 1941 Madison, and he told the congregation that, and they just believed it, including Ariah, including Shaw. So they were going off, and now they're not even on. I'm talking about the ICGJC. They're not on YouTube. They're not on. There's not much about them. They're like a little church now with their members. I don't know how many members are following them. A bunch of them, became disenchanted. So he was pushed out of the way by the Most High. Okay, so it says, 24th verse, for there shall arise false messiahs. So that word there for Christ is messiahs, meaning leaders. There shall arise false leaders and false prophets. And we got a lot of people that are formerly of One West that are teaching false doctrines. The number one doctrine that they're going off on is the charagma, and the evidence. Now I can understand you questioning it back in 2008, 2009, 2010, but how can you question it now? The evidence is overwhelming. They're already doing it. They're doing it. They're chipping people. And like I said, I see a lot of things happening inside of the next 6 months. So we may be out of here inside of a year and a half. I strongly believe that, but that's not the word of the Most High. That's just what I see. As the Apostle Paul gave his opinion, for example, 1 Corinthians 7 chapter, there are certain lines that he gave his opinion that you can either do this or you don't have to do it. So that's just me speaking what I see. You got food, you clearly got food shortages. You had that 2 years ago, two and a half years ago, 2 years ago. You had to wait on a long line. You had to have a mask on your face. And when you went into this place, a lot of the things that you wanted, they didn't have. And then you had to wait on the long line to cash out. And then there was a point where they said, well, we don't have any coins or we don't have any cash. You got to use a debit card. Why do you think they were doing that? So that people get used to debit cards and bank cards, which are debit cards, and credit cards, and ultimately they're going to phase that money out. They're going to phase that money out. Let me see if I can get this. Bear with me for a minute. um, okay, what is this? Okay, let me do it this way. The Economist magazine. Let me go to images. Hopefully I can find it. Okay, boom, I found it. The water Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Okay, give me a second here. And this was, I think this was 2018, maybe 2017. But it said, and I did a video on it. Okay, it says here, HD high definition reproduction of the Economist, 1988 art, board print by blah 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 blah. Now I don't know if this article was originally put out in 1988. Trying to see. Or it was like 2017, I believe. Let me just do some reading. It says, can Britain keep bombing Takashita comes to town. Investment banks pull back. Get ready for a world currency. So here you see the different paper notes, the Federal Reserve, the yen, the ruble, all these different notes. Okay, so it says, yeah, okay, so this was in 2018. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, this is 4 years later. You had the WEF meeting at Davos, Switzerland. And what were they talking about? The main subject was the digital currency. And this would represent a Bitcoin. And this is the phoenix, the mythical bird. The phoenix represents a kingdom that's destroyed, but it's reborn as a phoenix. It's a bird that dies in the fire and is reborn. So you see and this is for the insiders to see. This is not for the average Jake out there. You see the paper dollars, and you see the fire, and you see the phoenix rising out of the ashes with what? With the Bitcoin or the digital coin. So they show their insiders what they're going to do. Like I said, the average person, especially, our people, they don't know what the hell is going on. They're just going about their business like everything's, hunky dory. With all these food factories, processing plants and so forth, catching on fire and planes crashing into them, and then you had was over 10,000 cows that killed over and died because of a heat wave. Now they're saying that farmers are coming out and saying, well, it wasn't that hot for them cows to die like that. So they're questioning as to what's going on. But meanwhile, Jake, he's just going about his business, and Jake's going to get caught out there. Jake is definitely going to get caught out there like it says in Isaiah 65, it speaks about the Most High servants shall eat. And they're not going to eat. They're going to starve. It said we're going to be eating. We're going to be joyful. We're going to be laughing. You can read that yourself in Isaiah 65. So let's come back over here. Second coming foretold. So Esau put the blue letter together, right? So they know what's going on. They know that the second coming is about to come. 22nd verse again. He said unto the disciples, the days will come when ye shall desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and it shall not, and ye shall not see it. And they shall say to you, see here or see there, go not after them, nor follow them. For that's why it says, try the spirit, 1 John 4. For as the lightning that lighteneth out of one part under heaven, shineth unto the other part under heaven, so shall also the Son of Man be in his day. So everybody's going to see it. It says in Isaiah, I believe it's Isaiah 53 or Isaiah 52. But I know it's the 13th verse, which is the last verse. It said they're going to stop their mouth when they see the Son of Man come. It says, but first must he suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. That's the Lord. He was crucified. And what did these Israelites that were not a part of the elect say about him? They said, crucify him, and let his blood be on them and their children. So they put a curse on themselves. It says, and as it was in the days of Noah, which is Noah, so shall it also be in the days of the Son of Man. So the generation that was the wicked, violent generation that was back there during the time of Noah is the same wicked generation back here today. There's some same people reincarnated. Reincarnation is biblical for you ones that don't know. And when Babylon is destroyed, ultimately destroyed, there's going to be business as usual, man. People are going to, there's going to be, people are catching hell around the world, right? But if you're not catching hell, let's say people are starving in Africa and dying, and babies dying, and pregnant women dying, you're not concerned about it because it's not on the news. It's not on the news. So you're not concerned about it. So the same thing, when this place goes down, you're going to have people catching hell, dying, starving. You're going to have those preppers up there in the mountain eating their babies. And that's when the destruction, but there's going to be other people that's going to be going about their business. And that's when the destruction is going to come. As a thief in the night. Because the hypersonic missile system is a thief in the night. You can't pick it up by radar. It says they did eat, they drank, and married wives. So you're going to have certain couples walking down the aisle, and then they're going to look and they're going to see missiles coming out the side. Everything going to go black, and they're going to see fire. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth on that day. They were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot. And that generation that was back there with Lot is back here today. They did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they built. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven. So it's going to rain fire and brimstone again. When you read, Isaiah 13, Jeremiah 50, I believe Jeremiah 51. It's in a couple of places. They compared this destruction to the day that Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. There's ultimately 5 cities, the 2 major cities was Sodom and Gomorrah. It said drank, But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. So anybody that's left here on what they call the USA, everybody that's left here is going to be destroyed. You're not going to be able to escape that fire. So it behooves you, if you believe you're one of the elect, you better be on fire, man. This is the time to be on fire. To push, we're in the home stretch. You're supposed to be pushing this word hard. There's guys, tell it like it is, I say it all the time. There's guys that are former One Westers that go back to the 90s. They don't be pushing it, man. Some are, others aren't. They do disappearing acts. They thinking they're gonna get their penny at the end of the day. You ain't gonna get your penny at the end of the day. We all work for the same penny. So you got newer guys that came up under, GMS and even other groups that broke off. Y'all gotta all be on fire, but you gotta teach you all must teach the same thing. If you're going contrary to what GMS is teaching about the Charagma, then you don't have the whole gospel. You're taking away from the gospel and you're adding to. Now, the Sakari teach it, they push it, and even the HODC, but they don't push it, they just know it. And even the GOC teaches it, but they don't really push it. We push it. We always doing videos. Any article we find on the Charagma, the technology, we do a video on it, and we filter it right through, Revelation 13. It says, even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day, he which shall be upon the housetop and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. Now, this is twofold because it's talking about 70 AD. When those armies, the Roman armies, Titus armies came in, the Lord was saying, look, don't get your stuff, just get out because they come in as a flood. Revelation 12. Take away, and he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Then it says, remember Lot's wife. Because what happened to Lot's wife? She got burnt up. Same thing when the missiles hit. So the elect will be beamed up. The rest of y'all, you're gonna suffer the same fate as the devil. Or it says, whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. You know what that means? That's talking about these people that are built, fallout shelters. They're gonna ultimately be destroyed, but the super rich, the elite, they're gonna have these fallout shelters and these bunkers, to go into. And what we're gonna do is when they come back out, we're gonna be standing there with chains and shackles and yokes. They said, thou shalt put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. So we're gonna put yokes of iron on your neck. We're gonna shackle you up, and we're gonna give you work assignments. You're gonna be working all day long. You know what I want to do? Let me do this. Okay, I want to try something. Okay, it says the second coming foretold, right? Luke 17, verse 22. Let me pick out one of these verses. I want to go to the commentary. Let me try 24 first. Let me go to the commentary. Bear with me for a minute. Oh yeah, I did this one. That's why I'm on this page, Daniel 7 and 9. You know what they say? They say that Daniel 7 and 9 means oh, it says the hair being like pure wool. They don't mention it. They don't say that he was a so-called black man. Okay. They ultimately say the last paragraph, they say Daniel 7 and 9 on down. It says 9 to 14. It means the judgment on the Gentile powers. It says, and the books recording the deeds of the Gentile rulers are open. So this is going to be judgment on the Gentiles. The four beasts, which represents the Gentiles, four major Gentile nations, which came into power, the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans. And this is Rome all over again, NATO and the EU. As we always say, we sound like broken records, but that's all right. The four beasts were given over to the destruction. So who's going to be destroyed? The Gentile nations. While a figure in human form is brought before the Almighty in the clouds of heaven, that represents the Son of Man, and receiveth from him an everlasting dominion. And who's going to rule in that dominion? We are. We are joint heirs with him. Romans 8. And also you can go to, there's a whole bunch of scriptures you can go to. Daniel 7 and 18. Let me go to that. You know what? Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Daniel 7, 18. This is Cambridge. The four kingdoms of the Gentiles, which are the other nations, will pass away. Well, their kingdoms will pass away. They're not going to have any rulership. Because it said that they were, matter of fact, let me go to it so I don't botch it up. Let me go over here. Daniel 7. These are all basic foundational scriptures off the top of my head. Okay, 11 verse. I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and that beast is the fourth beast, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. We know that's talking about Babylon the Great. As concerning the rest of the beasts, the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, and the Greeks, which are part of the Roman Empire. So that's these four major nations. They had their dominion, their rulership taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season of time. Why? Because they're going to go into captivity. The number one on the list is the fourth beast. So this is Daniel 7 verse 18. But the saints, which are the Israelites to the Most High, shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So now let's go to Cambridge Bible for Schools and Colleges. It says the four kingdoms of the Gentiles. So it's telling you it's the other nations. So how can the nations be saved when they're going to receive judgment? And they know, the scholars, the Bible, Christian scholars, they know that every last one of them will tell you that the fourth beast in Daniel 7 is a Roman Empire. So this is the second leg of the Roman Empire. It says the four kingdoms of the Gentiles will pass away, meaning they will lose their power and be succeeded by the kingdom of the saints. Who are the saints? The saints are Israelites of the Most High. Who are the saints of the Most High? The Israelites, starting with the elect. So they know. They're pretending not to know. Which, and see, vocab Malone, what do we call him? Haman the layman, because he said he was a lay person. He's not an expert on the scriptures. You know, he's coming up against experts. You know, he basically says, well, the Gentiles are, you know, he uses the concept of what is it called? Replacement theology, meaning anytime you see Israel, it's really talking about the believers. They can be of any nation as long as they're Christians. He doesn't know. He's a layman. Haman the layman. These guys right here are the experts, so to speak. But like I said, they're hit or miss. It says 18 verse, the four kingdom of the Gentiles, which are the other nations, will pass away. They're not going to have any power and be succeeded by the kingdom of the saints of the Most High. Who are the saints of the Most High? The Israelites, which will endure forever. So going back to Lahab, he said, oh, we're going to set up the kingdom. Most High going to set up the kingdom for the Israelites, and they're going to rule for 1,000 years. Then Esau is going to gather his forces together and take us down. Where the hell did he get that from? You know, it says that we're going to rule forever and forever. It says the saints, it said it will be succeeded by the kingdom of the saints of the Most High, which is led by Yahushua. We are joint heirs with him, which will endure forever. So how in the hell Esau is going to gather his armies and come up against us? Then it says we're going to, in Isaiah 2 and was that Micah 4, we're going to destroy the weapons. Ezekiel 39, it says the saints of the Most High seem here also, as also in Daniel 7 and 22. It says, and it says that Daniel 7 and 22, until the ancient of days came and judgment was given to the saints, the Israelites of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. So who are the saints? The Israelites. It says in Daniel 2, around about the 40th verse on down, it says that the kingdom shall not be left unto other people, because the Gentiles are going to lose their power. Daniel 7:27. Let's see what that says. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, the Israelites, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. So ain't no Edomites going to gather up forces and come, oh, we got you again. We're going to bring you down again. It says to take the place of the one like unto a son of man, which is our Lord, in Daniel 7 and 13, and to receive the same never-ending dominion. I don't even got to read no more. They told it to you all. Let me read a little bit more. Let me see. There's a bunch of precepts here. Okay, the word is entirely different from the one rendered saints. Everywhere else in the Psalms, as Psalms 30 and 4, Psalms 31, you can read this for yourself. 1 Samuel 2 verse 9, 2 Chronicles 6 verse 41, Proverbs 2 verse 8. The term in this application is an extension of the use of the word holy, because saint means holy, right? Quadash, not Kadash, Quadash, to what? Denote Israel in its ideal character. Exodus, what is that? Exodus 19 verse 6. And you shall be to me, the Israelites, a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the sons of Israel. It's supposed to be. Yes, we love the people. All his saints, which are the Israelites, are in your hand, and they sat at your feet. Everyone shall receive of your words. So the mediator between the Most High and Israel at that time was Moses, right? So these Christians, they know that the Most High is only dealing with the children of Israel, and that the rulers, the saints, are the children of Israel. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so I want to pull out this word, Genesis 13, 6 verse 13. And the power said unto Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me. So it's going to happen again. But this time, the Most High is not going to destroy all flesh. He's going to destroy a lot of flesh, but he's not going to destroy all. And how many? What's the population of this place right here? Over 300 million, right? So we're talking about 300, at least 300 million people are going to be destroyed, because only a small number is coming out of Babylonic rape, which are the elect. For the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I destroy them with the earth. So let's look up the word violence. I don't want to make this too long. And the Apostle Peter tells you that the first world was destroyed by water, the second world is going to be destroyed by fire. So I just want to look up the word violence. The word is Hamas. Violence, wrong, cruelty, injustice. This is an unjust society, man. This is a lawless society. Violence by implication, wrong, by metonymy, unjust gain. All that's Esau's middle name. Unjust gain, cruel, damage, false, injustice. This is an unjust place. Oppressor, they're the oppressor. Unrighteous, Esau. The ungodly, you can say, violence against done, violence dealings, wrong. Shall receive bear me for a minute. Shall receive for the wrong. I know it's in Chronicles. There it is. Not Chronicles, Colossians 3, verse 25. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there is no respect of persons. So all this wickedness that you did, you got to pay for it. You got to pay back as a bitch. see here. Bear me for a minute. It says, Psalm 73, verse 6, therefore pride compasseth them, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the cleft of the rocks. How many more clues you need? The reason why they're called Caucasians, because Caucasian means cave dweller. Look it up. Is it therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me go up a couple of verses. The end, Psalm 73 and 1, the end of the wicked contrasted with that of the righteous. Truly the Most High is good to Yasha'Allah, Israel. Haman layman. Haman the layman. The only nation that's going to be delivered is a nation of Israel, the sons of Israel. Ban Yasha'Allah. Even to such as are of a clean heart. We are the elect of a clean heart. The Most High cleaned us. We didn't clean ourselves. The Most High cleaned us. But as for my feet were almost gone, this is a psalm of Asaph. My steps had well nigh slipped. Well, did not the president slip, bust his ass? Then he bust his old ass. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. The Esau is doing good. When this Crown Vic came about, there's a saying in a Roman Latin saying, classic Latin, which is qui bono. Qui bono means who stands to benefit. Qui means who, and bono means benefit or free. You know, like if a lawyer represents you pro bono, pro meaning for and bono meaning free. I'm representing you for free. You know, I'm giving you a benefit, but you don't got to pay for it. So qui bono in ancient Rome, pagan Rome, if there was a plot going on and people died and money was missing, you got to look for the person who became rich all of a sudden. You know, qui bono. It says, so they're benefiting. So we know that Charagma thing, not Charagma, but the Crown Vic, it was all set up for them to become richer. And the so-called middle class became poorer. I mean, that just makes all the sense in the world. But you see, most of you have been trained in these government schools, which make you think the way they want you to think. It said, for there are no bands in their death. They're dying now, but their strength is firm. Not now. They are not in trouble as other men, but now they're getting in trouble. Neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasseth them. Like this is, you know what this is talking about? During the height of the Roman Empire, the pagan Roman Empire, during the height of slavery in this country, after World War II, when Esau was doing real good, during the time of Jim Crow, you know, Jace couldn't sit in a restaurant. You know, they had to go to the back. You know, if they had to deliver something, they had to go to the back. They had to sit in the back of the bus. They were lynched. That's when you was in your pride. That's why I said It said, therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a what? As a garment. They wear it. They can't get off unless they see somebody hanging, man. Let me do this real quick. Bear me for a minute. Without sanctuary. Without sanctuary. Go to images. There's a book, and they even got a website, Without Sanctuary. And they show you all the lynchings, all the hangings that took place. That's when violence can pass them about like a they wore it like a garment. Let me read it right. It says, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Meaning they love violence, man. And most of these were postcards they sent to relatives. They don't look like they're feeling bad for the Jake. They chopped the Jake up, they burnt them, then they hung him. Or they hung him and burnt him. So you got to pay for this, man. This is a woman. The barefoot corpse of Laura Nelson. That's a woman, a Jake woman, May 25, 1911. This ain't no 17 or 1800s, it's the 1900s. They didn't give a damn about your woman. But now they don't want to pay. Now look at this. You see the little Edomite girl? She's got a big smile on her face. And some of these lynchings were Italians, because you know the Italians were our people. They were at a lynching, and they got smiles on their faces. The way collectors gifts us with the lynching photographs. So they stay happy because they seen a Jake being hung and burnt and lynched. So we're gonna do the same thing, man. It's not gonna end good for you Edomites. Now I don't know if this is. I don't think this actually happened, but this is like modern art. Your history is coming back to haunt you. Oh, look at this, man. I didn't see this one. I mean, look at that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's got to be like 10 of them just hanging there. And you see these Edomites happy. Here this dude. Look like they stripped them butt naked. You can see them. They got their hands in their pocket and they're looking up at them. It's like a big pay-per-view event. They're gonna be a lynching, boss. They're gonna be a lynching. Let me get my clothes on. I want to see this. I'm gonna take a couple of pictures and send it to my. Look at this, man. This is horrible, man. You can hardly see the picture's small. This is an old man. They beat the shit out of him. This was their favorite pastime, hanging niggas. We got 2 of them hung. You see how close they are, and they're looking into the camera because they're taking pictures so they can make postcards so they can send it to their relatives. And see what they didn't realize, like it says in Deuteronomy 32, they didn't realize their latter end. And that applied to Israel And now it applies to Esau. But see, when you make videos like that, they'll call it, see, that's racism. No, no, that's truthism. And when they call you for your racism, you call them for their truth, for your truthism. No, this is truthism. Don't you believe in the Bible? Look at this one. Okay, from no return, the 221-year journey of the slave ship Saul Jose. Let me do this here. There's one nigga on the Clay Gaines show. He called in, I think it was Friday or Thursday last, and he said, we got to vote, because if we don't vote, they're going to put us back into slavery. Now, I read this story of this slave revolt in the 1500s. I forget the guy's name. It started with an L, and we spoke about it this past Saturday on the highways and the byways. And he led the Mother Jake's slaves, and they defeated Esau and went out into the woods, and they were out there for 40 years. And anytime they needed something, they would go back into town and they would just jump on Edomites and take their shit. And then Esau, this was the Spanish at that time. This is when the Spanish were over here. And they made a treaty with this guy when he was old. They said, look, we ain't gonna mess with you. All you got to do is pay us a little tax. Don't jump our people and you're good. So they knew, and he said, yeah, because he was an older man, like Geronimo. Geronimo was about his people. They can't get you when you're young, they get you when, when you're old. Because we love our people. So when you look up the word violence in Genesis 6, the word means oppression, to wrong somebody, injustice, affliction. Look at this, man. But they're not going to pay. When you bring this up, they call foul. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.